we have students that primarily come from, I would say, within 5-10 miles of where the school is located in the Auburn Gresham community, West Inglewood, Chatham. Our students typically come to us undercredited, overaged, with every urban barrier and condition of urban blight that you can think of.
About 1/4 of incoming students to these institutions are fully prepared for college-level studies. The remaining 75% need remedial work in English, mathematics, or both. Only 20.5% of all U.S. ninth graders who graduate from high school on time go directly to college, return for their second year, and graduate within 150% of program time.
We get new students all the time. I work in the YES program, which is for juveniles that have recently been released from a detention center, been placed on parole or probation.
It's a good time for the teachers to have a discussion about different issues that students are having.
The goal is to reach each individual student's needs. The more we are aware of what those needs are, the more often we're aware of those needs, the better we are as teachers to be able to address them in the classroom.
There's a crisis going on in our schools. It's time to stop looking the other way. It's time to stop simply throwing money at the problem. Inquiry Bridge has a big idea that has been tested, a big idea that turns around schools and their students.
A year ago, the Banner School District went through a form of transformation in that we understood that we had to educate our young people differently, which is to say that young people would leave our programs, they would accumulate a bunch of credits, and they wouldn't necessarily be ready for any post-secondary education, employment, or even entrepreneurial aspirations that they may have once they leave us.
We talk about education, but education for what? What's the real purpose of it, right? And when we look at it, we can't take away these kids learn how to read, write, and think unless it really has some application to their lives. Unless it's going to make their communities better, it's going to make their families, it's going to make their households better, and ultimately make the communities better.
I just wish I could change everything about this community. It ain't too many good things about it.
The first step in that transformation for us was to introduce a new learning model, a blended learning model.
And there's a popular board game that you kind of go around and you buy properties and all that. So we said, hey, does this kind of make sense? And we're using different colors to show different tracks and different paths, with the goal of everyone having the opportunity, if they're willing to put in the hard work and put in the time, everyone can meet the goal, which is the ultimate goal is to kind of get your diploma and be ready for college.
We've seen significant gains in our attendance, significant improvement in our core courses, and a lot of that has been predicated by the introduction of the new blended learning model.
It's simple. The Success Board makes it possible for students to take responsibility for their own learning.
Remember and understand our flip notes, making sure on Monday that you understand what you have just read in your notes so you can come to class the next day. And when you come the next day, you will be doing the apply, and once you do apply and you get on the apply board, you can go on to analyze the next day, which is the next classwork you have to do. And if you don't get on the analyze board, you have to go back to apply. You will be behind because you have to finish up the work to get on the board. To get to create. Create is when you're ready to take the unit exam.
The work that we do is really, it's about community development. It's all about community development. We want them to be better individuals so they can be better fathers and mothers, hopefully be business owners and employees. Maybe they'll take my job, but ultimately I think that's going to make a stronger community and really get this community the positive individuals that make a difference.
Banner Academy West changed a lot from last year and this year. We have actual classes now. We have work.
We have essentially asked our young people to buy into a model that essentially will prepare them for any post-secondary aspirations that they may have, whether it's educational, employment, vocational training, and again, any entrepreneurial aspirations as well.
The biggest difference is the teachers.
The teachers stay here to help you with your work you don't understand. And my last school, they didn't help you.
Teachers are here around the clock to help us with anything we need, so they make it hard for us to be unsuccessful.
Part of the plan of the way the program works, part of the way the framework works, is how it really works with the teachers. This is way more teacher heavy and teacher driven. I mean, the blended portion is so small. And actually the blended portion is everything the teachers are doing in the classroom. Once teachers identify that and unions go, oh great, you're really here to work with teachers, I mean, they're on board.
This is the last unit, and the students should be familiar with the steps, as well as the teacher should have tweaked their clear expectations and understanding as to how this flip goes.
Most of our teachers are young and experienced, and just like any teacher coming out of college, they know a lot about pedagogy. They don't know anything about teaching. So our framework helps that teacher accelerate their instructional skills as well, because it gives them a roadmap, so to speak, on how to get the levers that really make a difference in terms of academic achievement. Most of the time, and I've been a teacher, you go into a classroom, they just kind of like, go get them, good luck. And there's no real guide on how to get there. Those things are gonna matter the most.
We have 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-olds, and we're like, you're reading at a 3rd, 4th grade level. If you're getting a high school diploma because you showed up for 4 years, but you're still reading at a 3rd, 4th grade level, what difference does that make?
About a third of 4th and 8th graders were deemed proficient on national tests in 2009. By the time those students reached high school, proficiency levels declined. Inquiry Bridge facilitates communication between grade levels, providing both students and teachers with standardized expectations to bridge the learning gap in their education.
My high school teacher knows exactly what these kids should have before they get in. The middle school knows exactly what should be happening before they get in. And then more importantly, they all know what's expected at the high school level. And typically, in a lot of urban school districts, that communication is it's non-existent.
Students need routine, so I think that's good for students. They know what to expect when they come in every day. It's a constant that they have in their life when they live in kind of a world of variables, of not knowing what's going to happen when they walk out the door.
This is an example flip slip. It's a review flip slip, so it's covering everything that we've learned over the Unit 8. They're testing this week, so pretty much the flip slip is basically going to give them all the information that they need so they can pass their test and have a thorough review.
A flip slip is like at the beginning of the week, all the students stay downstairs for an hour and a half to complete what the teachers expect us to be working on throughout the week. So they give us a brief summary of it in these flip slips to let us know what we're going to be working on throughout the whole week.
So it's going to pretty much pre-teach before we actually teach in the classroom.
But don't let the simplicity of the system fool you. It requires a major shift in teaching approach.
Our greatest competitor is perception. It's changing people's perception to say, no, you can educate these kids. They can be in a regular high school setting. The system's going to have to be different. Your assessments are going to have to be different. Your instructions are going to be different. Your expectations have to be different. But, these kids fully expect and want to have a rigorous program.
A lot of work, a lot of school, but I think I can handle it.
Most people didn't think that I would be good at going to college because I had a little difficulties doing high school.
We're giving kids the metacognition skills, so we're asking them to understand whether they've mastered the material or not, and then take responsibility for ensuring that they spend the extra time to make sure they master it. So I think the difference is putting kind of the onus on the kid and saying, like, I'm here for you, but you also need to understand your own learning and be able to manage your own learning, because going into college, nobody's there to manage your learning for you. So we need to teach you how to do those things.
I used to be failing in math, now I got an A in math now. My teachers really took their time to help me out with math now.
I earned 15 college credits so far, and I plan on going this summer to finish.
I got a 3.5 GPA, and I'm doing really good.
I'm looking forward to moving some of the same things and learning some of the same things I did here at CYDI into college.
I think it builds up their confidence in themselves and also in their ability to learn, and it definitely builds their self-esteem.
When a school says, we want you to come in, they move out the way and we come in and revamp their whole school. We make it very clear, no, we're here to train your teachers. Let's be very honest about where they are and where we need to get them academically. For kids who are accustomed to a lack of structure, a lack of support, a lack of monitoring, a lack of feedback, and we're gonna kind of turn that upside down and see what happens, and that's what we've done.
Kind of prepared me to move on and do better. Now I could say that I'm graduating.
I just focus on my education, because in the real world, that's the only thing you can do. If you don't get education, you don't have nothing.
We're really excited about where we are. We're excited about the future. We believe that we are preparing our young people in such a way that they become the reinvestment back into the communities that many of them hail from. And ultimately, that's what we want. You know, if we can continue to do that, we believe that we ultimately create better families, better neighborhoods, and better communities.
I'm ready to graduate, and it's almost time.